I've never thought of myself as ever being lucky whenever it comes to the timing of stock picks. In fact, for the most part, I'm usually early to the boat, a couple months in advance, and the stock continues to crash down while I wait for people to actually see what's going on with the company. But not this time, baby. I actually nailed it this time. You know what? And I don't expect to get this every single time, but it's really, really good feeling whenever you do. But I probably got it within a 10-minute range of whenever it was at its absolute bottom. So the stock that I bought was Voyager Digital, okay, on the TSX. At about 10:55 a.m. on October 27th, I executed a trade at about $11.06 a share. It was about down 2% that day at some point. And now, as of 2 days later, it's sitting at about $19.60 a share. That represents a gain of 77% in less than 48 hours. And at one point, it was actually up 93% whenever it was up into the $21 range, but it considered to go back down after that. But I do still think that, I'm not selling the stock. I still think it's going to rise because obviously I buy my stocks for a long period outwards, but it was just great. I think it's, amazing that I caught this stock in a 10-minute period from which it was down. So hey guys, it's Tanner Manson from Future Investing, and obviously we're going to be talking about Voyager Digital stock, okay? Why did it go up 77% at 1.93% in just a matter of 2 days? We're going to be talking about all this and more in this video, so make sure you stick around. But before we get into it, although I am actually a licensed financial security advisor as my full-time job, none of these stocks or topics that we talk about today are in any way my recommendation. This is merely my opinion, and you could choose to do what you wish with this information. Now, if you could, hit the like button down below and subscribe if you want to see more financial content just like this. So obviously, a stock does not go up 77% off one piece of news. A bunch of things would have to have happened within these 2 days for something crazy like this to happen. But a bunch of things actually did happen. So first off, about 30 minutes after I actually made my purchase, it actually came out that Voyager Digital would become the official cryptocurrency brokerage partner of the Dallas Mavericks. I had no idea. It was just completely luck of the draw. But even more exciting than that is the fact that Mark Cuban is the actual owner of the Dallas Mavericks, an outspoken and very successful investor that has had his fair share of cryptocurrencies in the past and a bunch of things. I remember that Titan controversy that happened before, and he wanted it regulated because he lost all his money or whatever buying some altcoin. But it is great to have someone like that backing your actual exchange that you're buying into as a public company. It's great news. But that wasn't even all. So by the next day, Voyager Digital actually announced that they got a $75 million strategic investment from Alameda Research. Now, I'll have to read this out because it's quite lengthy, but the actual CEO of Voyager Digital said, "Alameda is one of the largest crypto market makers in the world, and we believe there are significant opportunities in working together. Well, the immediate opportunity is on the order flow and asset management front. We are tremendously excited about potential future strategic opportunities in the continuous evolving crypto industry. These opportunities include NFTs and crypto derivatives through Alameda, as well as the creation of thought leadership, as well as work with lawmakers on shaping regulation." Now, this is super, super exciting, right? Obviously, because Alameda Research could be a good way for them to start getting into these new projects, like the way that Coinbase or Gemini or all these other places are getting into, just so then you're not making all of your money purely on transactional revenue. So once again, another very extremely exciting thing for Voyager Digital to put out, and then the stock, ran up another like 36% on this news. So this is continuing how it got to the 77%, but then they announced another thing. Voyager Digital announces that they are going to have a normal course issuer bid. This is a term for Canadian public companies to say, hey, we want actual approval to go back and actually rebuy some of our public stock. The company is allowed to go back in and buy around 5 to 10% of their public stock, depending on how the actual deal is, approved. Now, they would only ever do this if they felt like their stock was severely undervalued. Like, why are we giving all these people, if they don't respect our actual equity, why don't we just keep it for ourselves because we're growing so fast and we know what's going to happen into the future? Almost saying like, guys, if you're not going to buy our stock, we're going to buy our own stock. Like, we know what we have here. If you guys don't understand, that's fine. Just so incredible that this happened. Stock rose on this again. But that's not even it. So they also revealed, their actual fiscal year, which is a little bit weird. They kind of went from Q2 to Q2, but that's how fiscal years work, right? They can kind of pick wherever they want to be, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to go over this Q2 and just listen to these mind-blowing numbers. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to scooch over a little bit here, and we're going to be talking, just so I can write on the screen, total revenue increased from $1 million of fiscal year from 2020 to $175 million. This is their revenue, okay? That's an increase of 17,400%. 400%. In 2020, they went from an operating loss of 11 million to an operating income of 56 million. Just mind-blowing numbers in the matter of one year-over-year statistic. Total verified users went from 86,000 from last year up to 1.75 million, an increase of 1,935%. Total funded accounts went from 23,000 to 665,000, okay? That's an increase of 2,791%. Now that number is extremely significant because not only are we growing the actual user base, but each individual person is more likely to fund their account than they are to actually just be a regular verified user, right? So the growth base of this company is absolutely insane, but the actual people that actually have an opportunity to make them actual transactional revenue is even higher. So it's just absolutely insane. What a statistic. Total assets under management went from 35 million to 2.6 billion, up 7,329% year over year. Yet after all of that, from year over year, they went from a total headcount, the amount of employees that they have, from 36 people to 141 people, okay? That increased 292% year over year. Now, meaning that, and this happens in all financial service industries, that although their assets increased 7,000%, they only actually needed to increase their actual, manpower and the amount of people that actually run, the company and their expenses only by 292%. So we're actually getting more profitable even as we're growing with this amount of scale. And just to put that into perspective, the insane growth in this company went from $5 million of assets under management in December of 2019, and just 1 year and 9 months later, they went to $5 billion in assets under management in September of 2021. Okay, that's a 1,000x in their company in a year and 9 months. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for my actual algorithm on my YouTube channel here, I'd be taking a moment of silence with you guys. Like, this is just crazy. There's no numbers like this. The crypto market might not expand as quickly as it's doing right now with 1,000% and all these sorts of things, but they are growing just their own company faster than the crypto markets. Okay, so you take this insanely levered, type of commodity like crypto and add it on to these insane CEOs and employees that are on this business that are just growing it like crazy. And I mean, going forward, they have a pretty paved out road for success going forward. They know what they want to do. First of all, product expansions. They want to do increased amount of coins, obviously have the ability to go into margin, advisory products, debit cards, credit cards, payment systems, everything like this. That's obviously great to push out for product expansion, but I also want to see international expansion. They talk about this. In the US today, that's their only market right now, okay? One country. A place like Coinbase has over 100 countries that they're actually deploying to. So what does, Voyager Digital want to do? Well, they've already released, the actual paperwork to try to get into the United States. They filed with the commission boards here, and they're already in the TSX. They're already a public trading company in Canada. So it's probably going to be very, very easy for them to get here. They also did the same with Europe. So they're going to be expanding internationally. Next is just mass consumer adoption, right? They know that the more that crypto starts to get pushed out, as, bigger institutions are getting into it, normal people, even countries now are getting into it. This is all going to help Voyager Digital going forward, okay? Next would be regulation. They're already working with Alameda Research to help with these regulation things, but this is a more of a community growth side that everyone should be trying to work on. And, Voyager Digital is going to be a huge part of this. And then obviously next would just be investor acceptance. Like this stock, although it did run up in these last couple days, 77%, the actual amount of revenue and amount of earnings is way higher than 70% year over year. And, the investors just are not giving it this sort of, approval because there's that chance that regulation is going to bite down. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is one of the, once in a lifetime type of opportunities. It's like buying into TD Bank and CIBC and all these different companies before they were even the names that they were, before they were dividend paying companies. I think places like Coinbase and Voyager Digital, and I'm going to buy Kraken whenever that comes out too, is that they are, the revolutionary financial services of, tomorrow. I'm extremely excited for all these things. I think it's a more levered position and a better actual way of making money than just buying crypto. They are staking themselves. Voyager is staking within their own business. So I don't have to stake my Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like this to try to make extra amounts of money. The companies that I own are doing it for me, and I got them at a good earnings rate because obviously I got them at a cheaper price. But I still think I'm going to buy more after this financial earnings and just seeing 17,400% revenue growths. Like, I'll buy this at $19. I'll buy this at $30. Like, I think it's still a great deal because this stock could go into the hundreds of dollars going forward. It's not even a $2 billion market cap yet, and yet they're doing insane growth rates. I'd like to know what you guys think of the comments down below in the stock. How lucky did I get? I mean, holy crap, that's just ridiculous of what I did. I don't expect me to do something like that for a little bit anymore, but you know, it's good to feel that whenever it happens, and I'll accept the gains as well. Anyways, guys, if you could, like the video down below and subscribe if you want to see more financial content like this if you haven't already. But until next time, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay safe trading, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.